Okay.
That's where it is. That's where it is. So anyway, you had me here.
Yeah. So before we digressed, uh, I wanted us to have a chat about the Nairobi City Thunder Elite 16 and
Hmm.
Kasarani being the venue where the Elite 16 is gonna be later this month, earlier next
Yes.
month. What's your take on like what the Thunder have been doing? I know they have been active in the transfer market. They got in Tyler, they got in Ogechi, uh, the Big Wheel, you see, they got those guys. Then after the Elite 16 with the 3-1 record, they went ahead and got Acher Majok and they went ahead and got Abdullah Haruna. I before even you go in, season two, you were in the technical bench for the US Monster team. You saw Ater Majok, and I know you were there when they won the title, and also A Saleh when you were there with Coach Liz Mills. Abdullah Haruna
Hmm.
was on that squad. So, what's your take on how the Thunder are, and what impact do those two guys specifically, them playing in every edition of BL? What do you think? Like, what can we expect? Because the way they are loaded right now.
Listen, you have to get. They bring a wealth of experience. You see,
Yeah,
Thunder already had amazing players, right? Like in terms of the local guys themselves, whether it's Albert, whether it's Ken, whether it's Garang, whether it's Okal, Fidel. Then you add Derek Ongechi. Then Tyler joined the squad. So that was already pretty solid with UC. So when you bring Ater and Haruna, they bring poise and experience in terms of the BL. Okay,
yeah,
because Ater doesn't need to be introduced in terms of what he does defensively in the BL, regardless of which team he plays for. You already know that you have a defensive stopper, right?
yeah,
When you have him on your floor. So I believe that they are in a great position. Okay, they're in a great position. They made the right investments in regards to additional players that they needed to use. And Coach
yeah,
Brad and his squad have been doing a great job before in regards to setting them up, right? In terms of the systems that they use, the way that they operate and they move. So I'm pretty confident. I'm excited actually. I'm excited and I'm so happy that it's in Nairobi.
like the other thing that actually the other thing uh, that I thought about, when you're coming out after a championship season, like the way the Thunder came out,
Hmm.
the next goal is the BL, right? So as a from a coaching perspective, uh, do you do you have sleepless nights when you're adding like four new guys on the roster and they are solid and you have to figure out, man, okay, so how am I going to structure the team? Okay, so like they how to game plan so that they can be able to fit in that Thunder system or that team system so that you can be able to like utilize their strengths like that. So does it cause sleepless nights? Because I feel like it can be mentally taxing. You have like you figure out like strategy,
Chips.
in game strategy and game management. Yeah,
It is. It's very hectic. It's very hectic for any coach because you have to figure out combinations. You have to figure out how to. It's not really satisfy your players, but it's more of how to get the best
yeah,
out of your team, right? So that's really where the pressure is. The pressure is on how to get the best out of your team. So that's really where usually the pressure comes in terms of what to do. You get it?
yeah,
So
and it's funny. Yeah,
it does give sleepless nights. The coach stays at night and he's wondering, damn, what do I actually do over here? How do I manage this? How do I put this person? How do I move this other person? Which three or two people who can understand each other? Yeah.
and also like you have you have a situation like the Thunder. I felt, in my opinion, the Thunder, when they got in Big Will, right? They fixed
Mm-hmm.
their they fixed their front court offense. There was not too much productivity coming from offense because I felt from offense on the center position, not on the whole team, but the center position in this case. Because when you look at 1, 2, 3, they have legit guys who can, you know, they can get you they can get you going, especially scoring wise. But what about like the most
Mm-hmm.
efficient piece, like the 4 or 5? More specifically, I like the 5 because that's supposed to be the most efficient piece on the squad. When Big
Mm-hmm.
Will went down on with that like ankle injury, when he went down that Uranani game, we won those 2 games out of like the grit and the talent that was already on the squad. But there was a huge thing that was lingering. I was like, man, that front court, man, like we need to fix that one because not all our threes are gonna fall. We're not gonna be able to get like looks inside. So even when I was doing my own analysis, I said, they need to get like guys who can fix that. And the guys who were on the squad, like man, I was not that confident in them being there in doing what we expect. There's there's that point where you have expectations. Are you grabbing rebounds, putbacks, working the post? I mean, what happens when we hit a slump, especially mid game, when you're not able to get our shot from the field goals, mid range, threes? Can he pass it inside? Can he get us buckets? That's what Big Will did. So, with at the addition of Aterma Jok and Abdullah Harona, does that increase your confidence? Because I know these guys are experienced, but man, if you look at like this whole situation in Elite 16, this ball push has been kept alive by those 2 signings, in my view. I know I've gone on a tangent, but you're free to join in, coach.
But yeah, you have a point, and but the thing you have to understand is that it's pieces. For the
Yeah,
road to BL and the BL, teams that succeed have a solid local team. Thunder has a solid local team. Tyler plays locally. Derek plays locally. Like, it's a solid local team. So Haruna and Majok together, well, they overcompensate for Big Will because Haruna is a scorer. He's been the leading scorer in the BL before. So he knows how to do that. And Ater is a huge defensive piece that they've added, which was a
yeah,
piece that they didn't have. They
yeah,
didn't have airspace control. They didn't have that. They have that. So that's an addition. And you saw Tyler and Aruna play together. That was a beautiful duo when they played
ABC
for
fighters.
ABC.
Yeah,
Mhm. I mean,
yeah,
ABC didn't qualify, but they lost by half a basket with a team that only had 10 days to practice. Aruna has been in country for a long time right now, so has Majok. So they will not have a problem. They've gelled perfectly with their teammates on and off the court. So I believe that the additions were rightful.
yeah,
It covers a lot of things. What all the only thing that needs to happen is that everybody else needs to be ready to jump when it's time to jump because Kenya has not yet crossed the hump, right? Not yet
yeah.
gone over it.
I believe this is the time. Like we need to team Kenya, the Nairobi Thunder. This is the time that they need to like go at it, and they have the pieces. It's so different from like what we have been seeing from past years with like KPA, the Lindsay Warriors when they went there. This is this
Absolutely.
is the this is the best shot, and they have done everything right. And I don't
Everything.
think
They've invested so much.
they've done everything right, even by the book, even on paper. I can even argue and
Mhm.
say they're the best team on paper right now.
Yes, they
Okay,
invested
okay,
in the best players.
they have the best team on paper, and look at even if you take their roster and put them against Urunani. I'm not okay. Let's compare the two because they are the ones who went. They competed heavy, like in that group. If you put Urunani and you put Nairobi City Thunder, I honestly feel not even biased, but the Thunder legit with these two additions, they have the best squad right now. Like I don't think there's anyone that can get to that one
I mean,
with those two. Yeah,
ideally no, but you know that sports is dynamic, and it's great that Thunder keeps their humility in the
yeah.
sense where it's dynamic. We never know. I don't think anybody knew that Thunder was going to lose to Ronani. Ronani's players were just arriving and starting to playing together. But it happened because sometimes when you feel overconfident, you're going to get surprised. So, but
But that
indeed,
game
Thunder
was
has the team.
that game was it was very close. But one thing
Very.
I must say is like sometimes in basketball, even I know from a coaching perspective, you can even relate to this one. When sometimes you don't win the game using conventional means, like you can pound the clock when you have like a minute left, just shut it off, like just pound the clock and let the game go. Like let the game. Sometimes you just have to do that, and I feel like the Thunder, they would have at least done that and try to like draw a foul, like bring it to them, not try to be aggressive when the game is like half a basket. All I'm just saying is you just need to find a way. You find a way to win the game. So I don't know. He kind of dropped off. Okay, okay. So let me just wait for Coach Abel to rejoin. Kind of dropped off a bit. Yeah, hold on a bit. Oh, you dropped off a bit.
I don't know what happened. It just drops.
I feel like. Do you feel like you do? You, okay, there's this point I was going on and saying like sometimes you don't have to win basketball through conventional means. Like you don't have to. You can try to, like, let's say for example, if it was the 80, 88, 85, right? We were up
Hmm.
three. We can try to pound the clock. Just pass it. Let them try to overreach, go to the free throw line, make your shots because they're already in the foul. They're already up there on the fouls.
Yes.
Yeah, so I felt like that game was it was very close, but anyway, the end result, man, it was still upsetting. It hurt me a lot,
Yeah, it
but
was upsetting. You have to understand that they never expected a loss. They have not known defeat in an entire season. So the word battle tested usually means that we've gone, fought some fights, succeeded and failed in others, and we learned how to get each other in the right position.
yeah.
So it was a surprising loss, but it was necessary for them so they can reorganize themselves. You get it,
But still,
especially mentally.
but still, do you feel like okay? There's this thing that I've also been thinking about when it even came to like unbeaten seasons and good games. Like, which one do you prefer? A great game, regardless of the outcome, or an unbeaten run? Because I feel like
I like a great game. I'm
I
not.
like a
I
great.
don't care about being unbeaten.
I look. Let's take the case of Irunani and Dynamo when they played in the playoffs. That series went up to 7 games, right? And
Yes,
Irunani went up and
mind you,
won
Ronani
it.
was up 3-1. If you remember, they were up 3-1.
Yeah, and Dynamo
They were
clawed
up
back.
clawed back into 3-3 and Ronani won. So it doesn't matter that Dynamo clawed back. Who cares?
Like
Are
it
you playing
doesn't.
the road to be in? You lost. That's all that
I'd
matters.
I'd prefer even in local basketball, even the thing that even I was mentioning, even in my analysis, was like even with the Thunder even having an unbeaten regular season, I was like, you know what, just win the series. Doesn't matter if you win or lose a game. It's a best of five series. If you win in 5 games, good. Move to the next one. It doesn't matter if you sweep, right?
There's no extra
Because
point. There's no extra point for sweeping.
nah, it's the same. Best of five, win three, move on to the next one. So that's the thing. So, but I'm not. My confidence isn't still shaking with the Thunder because number one, they didn't. That game they were dominant. They weren't like they didn't hold back in that game as we are used to seeing like team Kenyan teams do. But
Hmm.
given like the way they went ahead and like they went on the front foot. They went on the attack from tip off. That is what is
Mhm.
needed, regardless of. I'm okay losing like that. I'm okay losing with like 1 point, 2 point. It's okay. I have no issue. Even with the Thunder when they lost that game to Unani, I was like, you know what? It's okay. I can sit down and say the best team won. And if you look at that game closely, or which I know you checked that game out like front to back,
I was there. I was there.
like you checked out that game front to back. So the thing is, they did everything that it needed to happen, and that game was decided on the line. So I mean, it was a close game situation. So it's one team had to
Yeah,
win,
exactly. One team had to win, so it's nothing. It's no fault on the other team.
and a crazy take would be: do you feel like Urunani and Thunder might meet again in these finals? Because there's a high likelihood they can, if
Yeah,
both
but you
teams
don't have
continue,
to.
they can rematch in that finals. But it looks likely. I've looked at those two teams and I feel like they can meet at some point, and something might happen. Could you see like a repeat of the games, or what
We could,
happened?
depending on the groupings, depending on the groupings. But it's like a 65% chance.
Uh, the- but right now it's just making the finals. I'm okay with the Thunder just making the finals, regardless whether they win the group or win the slot. Just make the finals, get that spot in there, and just advance to BAL. That's it. That's the main goal. Make it past out of the Elite 16 and just breaking through, because they're just gonna they're just going to add on and just notch on to history and just be on those books like team a Kenyan team made it and we hosted it and they did it in our home turf, something like
That's a
that.
big one.
If they did it at home, at least they're not flying outside, because at some point I was like, man, if they fly to like another place, like let's say if they took it to South Africa, I'd be like, oh Jesus. Or if they took it to Cameroon,
Oh,
I'd be
hey,
like,
Cameroon is a positive. Cameroon is a positive place for Kenya. That's where Team Kenya qualify for AfroBasket. You got to watch out there.
man, I
Cameroon is France.
because sometimes do you feel like home court advantage really matters? Because I'm seeing the hashtag Tujaze Casa, like it's the
Well,
Kenya
it
needs to
works. It
rally
works.
behind, really needs to rally behind the Thunder, because defending home court is
Exactly.
something that needs to happen. It needs to happen. It just needs to happen.
100%.
But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. And in closing, uh, would you happen to have like any final remarks with regards to like the Thunder season, new signings, expectations for you know this this next hurdle that they're going to face next week, and also to add on, also the AfroBasket window opening this weekend. So there are a lot of things happening in the African sphere when it comes to basketball. So closing remarks touching the two.
Yeah, so first of all, in regards to Thunder, I believe that they recruited well. I believe they brought the players in good time. I believe they have the right technical team around the squad, and that we shouldn't expect anything less than a qualification and the right way of playing basketball. In regards to AfroBasket window that is starting, it's tricky.
South Sudan
It's
is there,
very
man.
tricky. Yeah, Moran's play next year is tricky.
I mean,
But
I'm excited for the viewers. Like it's AfroBasket weekend, Rotball weekend next weekend. So it's and also what is happening in the local leagues. Like you're
mm,
spoiled for choice at this point.
yep.
But thank thank you for joining the show, man. I really appreciate it. I will be setting up so that you can be having like a post game like pressers, just talk about like the game post game like that. Hopefully we can be able to have those ones more frequently. in these 2 weekends that are coming. So I appreciate you joining and coming on.
Hello.
I can hear you. I said like thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate your experience and presence on the show. It's very informative. Yeah.
You're welcome, and thanks for having this. And we should have more analytical sessions where we can talk a bit more in depth about the game and what to do and what not, because it's a thing that is
Okay.
really lacking. A lot of people just judge end results on the court, but the truth is the preparation and the things we focus on is where the problem is. So I think if we can discuss some of these subjects, they'll be pertinent and it can help open up the minds of everybody. Other than that, it was a pleasure to be here, and let's hope for the best. Jaza Kasarani, let's support Team Thunder,
To to
and
Jose Casa,
let's get that first Kenyan team in the BAL, and spread the love. It'll grow the
I,
game.
I'm imagining the Kenya, like the Thunder having like the BL jerseys. The name of the team is there. They're playing in the ball court, regardless of where we are gonna play, which conference. I don't know which conference they're gonna play, but I'm just visualizing those things right now. I'm just excited.
Yes,
I'm legit excited. This is this is it. This can even mark like even the years to come. Like that standard, setting
yes.
the bar high. Yeah. So, man, thanks for coming on. I'm very
Right.
excited and good things to come in the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Good luck and take care.
Karibu sana. Whew. That was fun.